The recording has started. Hello, programmers or computer science students or newbies, coders. Uh, there are many terms for you. So, or beginners, or some software engineers, or some, yeah, whatever. So, I am Nyakama Masha. Uh, but you can call me Cyrus because my peers call me Cyrus. So I'll be answering this question paper that was written by students at SISULU University on November 2016. So question one, fill in the blanks in each of the following. So I'll be fast. I'll just answer the questions right away. A class's dash is called implicitly when an object of the class is destroyed. What is that? Well, what is called implicitly when an object of the class is destroyed? It's a distractor. You can't call a distractor implicitly. So you have to call it implicitly. So the answer there is a distractor. It receives dash and returns no value. So what does receives? What does? So here, since since it's on the same line, if you since it's A, so if the statement above was not present, I could have answered this in two ways. It receives it. So what is it? So this it refers to whatever that I've answered above. So this it receives the it refers to whatever that I've answered above, I assume. So now the distractor receives no parameters and returns no value. You see, a class's distractor is called implicitly when an object of the class is destroyed. It receives no parameters and returns no value, and that is true. A distractor does not receive any parameters and it returns no value. A class may have only one distractor. If you don't provide one, the compiler creates an empty one. You see. Now let's proceed. Default access specification of the class members is def. So the default access specification of the class members is private by default. All the members of the class in C++ are private. So this question paper is based on C++ programming or C++ object-oriented programming. Sorry if I didn't mention that above. Default access specification of the class members is private. Then dash. Oh, I've answered that. Then let's answer the following. Only the dash members of the class can be accessed outside the class scope by the member functions and friends of the class. So only the public members, so I'm answering the question. Only the public members of the class can be accessed outside the class scope by the member functions and friends of that class. So if we declare friends of the class public and functions of the class or members of the class public or function or member functions, we declare them public. So that means they can be accessed outside the class scope directly. Yeah. So now let's proceed to C, D, E, F, G. So find the errors in each of the following and explain how to correct it or them. So that means we can have more than one error. C. Assume the following prototype is declared in class rectangle. Void, tilde, symbol, rectangle, then it accepts two parameters of type integers. Am I recording? Oh yes, I'm recording. So yeah, so now let's identify the errors on this. So the first error is void. When you okay, how do I know that the first error is void? So assume the following prototype is declared in a class rectangle. So we have a class that has a prototype which is void till the rectangle, then it accepts two parameters of type integers. So now we see that this prototype name has the same name as the class name. So that means they were trying to build or to create a constructor, but they have made two errors by when they were creating their constructor. First thing is this void. You don't put anything here. When a constructor does not return any value, even void. It does not return any type, even void. So this void was their first mistake. And this tilde symbol, if they were trying to create a destructor, if they were trying to just so this tilde symbol is used when you are creating what? A destructor. Now this is a constructor. So when you're creating a constructor, you don't put this tilde symbol. So now that means it has to be like this without a rectangle. So explain how to correct it. So now that means a constructor has to be a rectangle with these parameters and their statement terminator. So that means this void, you have to get, in order, when we are fixing this, we have to get rid of this void and this symbol, which is tilde symbol. Number D, the following is a partial definition of the class date. So class date, public function prototype, private, int year is equal to 0, int month is equal to 0, int day is equal to 0, then end of the class date. So now we have initialized the private members inside the class, which is wrong. So that means the error there was to initialize those private members inside the class. In order for us to initialize those private members, we should have used constructors. So int here, then so we should have get rid of those equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. In order to fix that, you have to get rid of that equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. So that means you have to do it like this. I have to write, it's gonna waste a lot of time. So that means I have to say private, then int here, int day, and month. So you have to correct it like that. You have to correct like that, but everything here in this class is correct. So let's proceed. So yeah. So now assume the following prototype is declared in class date. So the name of the class is date and the name of the prototype is date as well. So that means they were trying to create what? A constructor. So if they were trying to create a constructor, if they were trying to create a constructor, they shouldn't have this return type, which is int, because a constructor does not return any type of some sort. So they have to get rid of this int, and anything here is correct if they were trying to create a constructor. Then on F, why should a class have private members? A class should have private members to have security of data. That means we don't want data members to be accessed directly by the code or functions or classes outside the class. We want them to be private so that they can have extra security, so that they can, yeah. Explain why, as discussed during the course, making a tree program is a better software engineering. Well, it's very good approach in programming to separate your program into three separate files, because that means it's easier to divide work, number one, as well as it's easy to spot errors. That means we avoid code redundancy, and also reduce that means we reduce cost, because now it's going to be easy for us to spot errors. That means we won't spend a lot of time in debugging. And also we want to separate logical properties from the implementation, emphasizing abstraction. So yeah. Question 2. Consider the following declarations. So those are the declarations: public declarations, private declarations. So under public we have member functions, under private we have data members. So how many members does the class on A? How many members does the class break type have? So let's go and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the class break type have 12 members. How many private members does the class break type have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 members. C. How many constructors does class break type have? Constructors 1, 2. We have 2 constructors on the class break type. Which constructor is used to initialize the object new bag? This default constructor is used to initialize the object new bag, the default constructor, which is bag type. So let's proceed. Assume the definition of the class break type as given. Answer the following questions. F. Write the definition of the member function set so that private members are set according to their parameters. So now they want us to define this function prototype, which is set. Excuse me. So let's go and do that. Let's write the program of the class break type, which is probably have to create a project because we want to write our program in three separate files. So let's save it. I want to save it. I don't want to save it here. I want to save it on this folder. And I want to name it bag type. I say bag project. This is the name of the project, bag project. And then Save. Yeah. Now let's create a class back type and let's declare the public members. Let's declare the private first. Private, and then private members we have we have yes, yes, we have style. The private members are style. L, I think L is for length, W is for width, H is for height, and then we have price. So let's go and declare these variables. So we have all the variables of type double except for the style, which is of type string. Let's go. So we have string, style, and string style, and also we have double. Oh, what is this? Double length. Let's just name it as they did. Double L, double width, double height, and then double price, double price, double price, double price. Now let's declare the public members. Doesn't matter if you name public, you declare public members above, on top of the private members. Does not matter. Then we have set, we void set, and then we have string, we have double, we have double, we have double, we have double. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have declared our first prototype. Let's look for other prototypes. Oh, that was the first one, set, and the second one it's print with a constant and and then we have get star as well as get price with a constant. So and constant, these are constant functions, constant functions, or these are constant functions. The first one is double, or let's start with the print, void, or not, let me start with double get style, double get style, and then I put a const to indicate that this is a constant function, and then I declare another prototype which is double get price. Yeah, this is get price, and then we have const to indicate that this is a constant function. Now we have void print, and then we have const to indicate that this is a constant function. A constant function does not name, it does not modify any data. Did I answer that question? I don't remember answering that question. On D, how many constant function does the class big type have? We have one, two, three. So we have three constant functions, and constant functions that does not, sorry, a constant function does not modify data or do not modify data. Constant functions do not modify data. Yeah. So now let me go and look for other prototypes. I've declared get price. Now let's declare this mutator function. Void get. So I'll just copy that. Just copy that because there's only one thing that is different, which is there's only one thing which is different, which is this name. It's get that you want to set. This get. And now let me come to the side and okay, back type, and this is a default constructor. This one is a parameter constructor. Let's go to it. So we have back type, and as well as we have default a parameter constructor. So I'll just copy that and parameters. So back type. So these one are constructors. I have to just constructors. These one are constructors. These one are constructors. Include a string. These ones are constructors. Yeah. Then constructors. This one is a default constructor. This one is a parameter constructor. Constructors have same name as the class name, and they don't have any return type. So let's look for the prototype. So I think I've finished. Yes, I have finished. I have finished declaring my prototypes. So I've already declared these prototypes. Now let's answer the questions. So let's name this file of that has the class. So we'll name it. Oh, okay. Oh, I see a problem there. I should have created a folder for this project. Now everything is gonna, all the files will be saved in this file, but that's not a problem. Let's do that. So just let me say back type. So now this is the class, so it must have the extension which is .h. So you see .h. So now it's say back type .h. So that means this is the file that has a class, or that has classes or have a class. So now let's answer the questions. So the first question was, write the definition of the write the definition of the member function set so that the private members are set according to their parameters. Wow, okay. Let's go and write that set function. So they're asking us to write the definition of this function or of that prototype. The definition, this is a prototype, so they want us to write the definition of this prototype. So now in order for us to write the definition for that prototype, we have to create another file on the same project. So new file, and then I can name it save as implementation. So I can just say bag type. This one will just .cpp. So yeah, bag type.cpp. So on this file, we'll just write the definitions of these prototypes. We want to write the definitions of these prototypes. So let me start, but we have to first include it. Hashtag include, then bag type dot hash, and then I proceed follow this. So now I have to create the definition for this function, or sorry, the definition for this prototype. Say copy and then paste this on this file. So but this is the so now I have to write the class name, which is bag type, then scope resolution operator, and then run, and then create some parameters there. So for height, I can just say capital letter. Also, that is style, so I can just say S. Then that is length, so I can just capital letter L. So that is height, so that is width, W. And then for length, width, and then for height, capital letter W. And then for the style, length, this is style, string style, this is double length, this is double width, this is double height, and then this is P for price. I can just say P for price. So now they are saying we have to so there is a set that private are set according to their parameters. So now we are setting these private members. They are saying we have to set these sorry, excuse me. They are saying we have to set these private members according to their parameters. These are their parameters, or else these are their parameters are set according to their parameters. So let's do that. So I'll just copy these. I want to set these members, copy, and then paste here. Delete that. Sorry. Sorry for that. Yeah, I have to delete this also. 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 So now we're setting these private members according to their parameters. So style is set to as string as, so that is style, yes. Then length is set to L. Sorry, is set to L. Then W is set to, which is for width, is set to W, and height is set to height, and then price is set to P. So now these private members are set to their parameters. So let's proceed to other questions. So this was, let's see, the question was F. So this was F. So this was F. This was F. So that was F. So now let's answer. Let's see, G. Let's answer G now, which is G. So let's look at the question. Write the definition of the member function in a print that prints the values of the data members So now we want to print the values of these data members. We want to print these. We want to write the function that prints these data members. So let's do that. So we have get price, get style, get price, get style. Oh, so we have length, we have width, we have height. So let's print those. So a proper, let's just say, okay. So let's the print function. This is the print function. So copy and paste. Now let's put the class name here, which is back type, and then scope resolution operator. And then what do we do here? We print the data members. So just say cout, just using cout. You can just say cout as wait a minute. Indentation. This is called indentation. You have to indent for the readability of code. So now I have to print those members. So I can just print can print L, then I can print let me start with S. Can print S, then okay, I have to put a comma in between. Then I can print can prompt the user as well, but the exam that can take a lot of time. It can just say style, which we are prompting the user this stage style, and then yeah, style, and then you print the style, which is style, then print your style, and then we can just say length, and then can print you can print style length, and then for length you just print L, then you say width, which you are prompting the user, width, then the width is W, then we have our height, which is height, and then we have our height, and now we have no, let's print the height now, yeah, and then now we have we want to print our height. So yes, now I want to print the price. So this is price. So now this is and rands. You want to print in South Africa, so you want to print the price in rands. So that is price in rands, and then you say price. That is price. So now I've used end line, and I've used this console output, which is C out. So now I have to declare them. Hashtag include string. I have to use that library using name space standard. So yeah, there's that. So now this is how I printed my values. This is how I printed my values for question G. So this was the question G. This is G. So print, write the definition of the member function print that prints the values of the data members. So I've just printed my data members. So now let me go to H. On H, what does H do? Write the definition of the default constructor of the class back type so that the private member variables are initialized to empty string 0, 0.0, 0, 0.00, 0, 0.0, 0.00 respectively. So now they want us to initialize the default constructor. They want us to initialize the default constructor. Let me go here. So where is the default constructor? This is the default constructor. This is the default constructor, and they want us to initialize it. Default constructor. This is the default constructor. So they want us to initialize it. So to initialize the default constructor, let's go and initialize it. Back type, copy, and then let's initialize it. So this is G and this is F, G, H. So this is H. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me go. Yeah, this is H. So now I'm answering H. So for the constructor does not have any return type. So just write then first of all we have to just let me say this. So I have to just write the name of the class, and then scope resolution operator, and then the constructor, and then we initialize the private member variables. Let's initialize them. So let's initialize them. So we'll initialize the style to empty string, just like they said, and this to 0, 0.0, and this to 0, 0.0, and this to 0, 0.0, and this to 0, 0.0. So now we've initialized our private members, which are style, which I've just initialized to an empty string, and length, which I've just initialized to an empty string, and width, which I've just initialized to an empty string, and height, which I've just initialized to an empty string, and price, which I have just initialized to an empty string. So now 39, so it's 40 minutes. Oh, it's not that long. Let's look for the other question, which is I. Write C++ statements that prints the value of the object new bag. Write the C++ statements that prints the value of the object new bag. So now that means we have to have the object. That means we have to have the object new bag. So now I've created a new file, which then when we're declaring an object, we have to declare it inside the main function. So we can't declare it inside this. We don't declare it. Let me not say I can't. Let me say we don't declare it inside this implementation file. We declare it inside this file that has the main function, and inside the main function. So int main function. So now I have to declare the object in your back using the class name, back type, then have new bag, so that is the object, back type, new bag. Now I have to write this, I have to write C++ statement that prints the value of the new bag, the value of the new, that prints the value of the new bag. So now that means I have to just declare the variable, because if that means the construct is called automatically on I. So when I declare an object, when I declare an object, when I declare an object, the default construct will get called automatically. So now let me proceed to J, which is right. So C++ statement that declares the object temp bag of the type bag type and initializes the member variables of the temp bag to backpack 15, 8, 20, and 49.99 respectively. Oh, let's go there and do that. So now I have to declare another object. So this is J, this is J. So for J, I have to declare another object which uses construct. Let's read the question again. Writes a plus statement that declares the temp object of type bag type and initializes the variables of temp bag to. So that means I have to use my set function. I have to use my set function at this stage. That means I'm going to use my constructor to get these values, or I'll just use the set function. Let me just do it so that you can say it. Bag type. So I say temp bag. So this is temporal bag, and then I say back. It's spelling backpack. It's backpack. The style, and then we have width. It's length. Of length. Let's look for it. The length is 15. The width is 8 and the height is 20. Length is 15, then 15, and then we have, it's hard to memorize this thing, 8, 20, 8, 20, and then we have 49.99, 49.99, 49.99. Bag type, temp bag, sure. So this was J. So this is width. No, that is length. This is width. This is height. This is price. This is style. So this is the new, or this is the object. So yeah, of type, back type, which is now back type is a data type, and temp is a variable or an object. So yeah, that was J, which was the last question for the question paper. So but let's wrap.